Today is the day, guys. The knockouts begin for England. We are taking on Senegal. Look at the state of me. What am I wearing? This football jumper, I cannot stop wearing it. It's so comfy. But obviously, I'm repping the boys. I'm so excited for the game tonight. I really wasn't excited for the World Cup in general. I think it's so weird, and it still is, that it's in the winter. It doesn't feel right. And of course, with it being in Qatar and all of the politics and yeah, I just wasn't looking forward to it. But honestly, it's been one of the best group stages I've seen. And I've watched 5 World Cups now, I want to say. So, or 4 World Cups, 4.5 now. It's been amazing. And I'm so excited that we're finally going to watch England tonight against Senegal. We're going to go ahead and build the team that I would go with because I'm not disagreeing with Southgate's choices per se. I don't necessarily think he's always done what I would have done. But it has worked. The 0-0 against the US was disappointing, but it was enough. You know, we got the point. We didn't lose. We're the top scorers in the competition so far, I believe. And of course, massive wins against Iran, and Wales. Nothing to complain about, really. But tonight is where things get serious. You lose, you're out. So we need to put our strongest team forward. So we're going to build the team out with players that I think should be in the team straight away. No questions asked. Of course, first one should be Kane. Look, I know he might not be having the best tournament ever. He isn't scoring, but the link-up play is incredible. Really, really good. And by the way, this isn't the formation I'm going with, although it's close. But Kane, for me, is an absolute starter. And, well, let's be honest, he is also captain. I would also say that Bellingham and Declan Rice should be straight into the team as well. So we'll go with Bellingham. Such a long name. I'm tempted to put Jude. And then Rice. I think those two absolutely should start. I would say these 3 players are insta starters. And actually, to be fair, there's a few more. Let's talk about goalkeepers because it's difficult being an Arsenal fan and not seeing Ramsdale play because we see him week in, week out for Arsenal. He's got the joint top clean sheets in the league this season. And of course, that isn't just goalkeepers that get that. It's the defenders that really contribute as well. The whole team contribute. And Pickford hasn't really been insane for Everton. I would say if we truly based the selections on form, Ramsdale would start. But I'm a realist. I know... Oh, I'm not trying to print. I'm trying to do caps. Pickford is someone who starts. I mean, it's set, really, isn't it? He's going to start tonight, and I know that. So we'll just throw Pickford in. And by the way, I don't necessarily think it's a bad choice. We're quite lucky that we've got Pickford and Pope and Ramsdale all competing for that one spot. But I would prefer Ramsdale. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Another spot for me that's completely not up for debate would be Saka. And no, that's not because I'm an Arsenal fan. He was man of the match in our first game, had a quieter game against the US, and of course he didn't start against Wales. But the rumours are he's starting tonight. I think he is the best right-sided player we've got in the squad. He should start. Why wouldn't you start Saka? What's bad about having Saka on that right side? He's so difficult to play against. He's a very tricky opponent. He's good with his left foot, of course, at cutting inside and providing crosses and whatever, but he's also pretty good with his right as well. I think Saka's a starter. I really do. I would also say Stones is an absolute guarantee. Put Stones in there. And I think we're kind of now left with a few positions that you could debate, although because it's Southgate, I think we all know that Maguire is going to start, so we'll go and put him in, and he's actually been one of our better players in this tournament, so I don't actually have any problem with that. So now we have left wing, centre mid, or an attacking mid, or whatever, depends on the formation, left back and right back. Those are the positions in question, shall we say. So let me just go ahead and move into the formation that I would start with. I would do pretty much, it's kind of what Arteta does with Arsenal, but it does work. I mean, with Arsenal, it is kind of like this. You have Ødegaard in this pocket here. I think we could replicate that, but of course, it's fine. This is just like a lineup builder. I would go with something like this, a 4-2-3-1. And for me, because this video is what I would start, this would be Foden. Foden has said it himself. He wants to play in this area. He doesn't really want to play down the right or the left. For Man City, he does seem to be here, but he has the license to roam because that's what Pep allows him to do. With England, I don't think you get that much freedom. But if Kane's playing up front, which of course he will, and we have two wingers high up the pitch like we normally do, I think the best player to have in this position here, being able to float around that final third, is Foden. Mason Mount can do that job absolutely fine, but I don't think he has been doing it well enough for England. I would start Foden in that position. I would then have Rice and Bellingham in these areas here. I think Bellingham probably is better on this right side here, personally, and Rice obviously will stick in this area here and just cover him behind. I think that is the formation I would go with. And on the left side, I think you go based off form and you start Rashford. Obviously, we have Sterling, we have Grealish. You could also potentially go with, who am I forgetting? Maddison. Maddison, I guess you'd rather hear, though. Tricky. Maddison can play on the right as well. I don't think Maddison gets in, unfortunately, even though he's one of the most informed players outside of the top half of the league, you know. At right back, it's really tricky because I thought Walker did very well. However, form, again, I'm going on about form, but let's face it, Trippier has been one of the best right backs this season. He's played more than Kyle Walker has. So I think you stick with Trippier. I don't think you need to change that. At left back, it's probably going to have to be Shaw. The only other thing you could do is put Trippier on the left side and have Walker on as a right back. But I don't think Shaw has been bad. I think he's done okay. I really do. I think this is probably the lineup I'd go with. But what can we do if things get tough? Because it's always very important to have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. Have multiple different formations and systems that we can use. So if Senegal do what I think they're going to do, I reckon they're going to really beef up midfield. I think they're missing a few players. Kouyaté is one of them who I would absolutely play in midfield. I think that maybe we do switch, potentially, and I know people don't maybe necessarily agree with it, but we go to a 3 at the back. That could potentially work. If we did do that and we shifted, into something like that, then this player for me would be Ben White. But of course, he's gone home. So I actually don't think that's what we should be doing unless we absolutely need to. It really depends how Senegal's set up. Now, I think they're going to go with their 4-3-3, and they are obviously going to be using pace down the wings, so it shouldn't be an issue. I reckon this lineup here could do more than enough. So in terms of going into the second half, if we're keeping the lineup as it is, what subs do we make? Well, first of all, I think if Rashford is having a quiet game or if Saka's having a quiet game, you change one of the wingers. For me, it would absolutely be a Sterling substitution. It would also potentially be if Saka's not maybe having the best time, you could put Foden on that right side and then bring in Mount, Maddison, someone like that. Also, one problem I always seem to notice is Gareth Southgate, when we go 1-0 up specifically, he does like to make the team do this, which really bothers me. But if that happens, I think Foden is probably the one that drops. You put Bellingham in a slightly advanced role, and then you bring in someone like a Henderson. And I think that could work quite nicely. I think he actually had a good game. So we have plenty of options. We really do. But if we go back to the actual lineup I would go with, it would look like that. And then we put Foden in. I think if we start with this lineup, we win the game comfortably. And of course, we will be taking on either France or Poland. And I think it's very unlikely that Poland are going to beat France. And that kicks off very soon. So I'm really excited about tonight. I know it's just a quick, short video. I wanted to talk about England. I talk about Arsenal all the time. Talking about England now. Hopefully, we'll pick up the win tonight. Let me know your predictions down below. Make sure you jump in the Discord. I'll be typing throughout the game and interacting with you guys. Discord.gg/MGH if you'd like to join. It's completely free, of course. This is my lineup. Although if I'm being really truthful, if I had ultimate control... Oh, why aren't you letting me type? I'd be going with Ramsdale, but I know it's not going to happen. But anyway, thank you for watching this shorter video, guys. Best of luck, boys. Bring it home. Hopefully we're through to the quarterfinals later on tonight.